Judge, you've been around when you're doing meeting with all these families. What part of the responsibility is mothers? What part of the responsibility is on the father? Because typically the blame goes on the father.
Well, there are no fathers. And see, the thing of it is, these men that just ran off and left the women, these women don't want the men. All they wanted was the babies. And see, you had people like the poetress Nikki Giovanni back in the 60s were going all around the country and they were lecturing the women, and they were young women, and they were saying, you don't need a father for your children. Just get prego, find one that looks good, smart, athletic. Yeah, that one. And don't even tell him that he's the daddy, because if you bring a man into the picture, they screw up everything. So there was this point where if you had the guy around, there was a problem. And then there was some that did want the guy around, but back when I first started practicing law 50 years ago, one of our number one cases was getting the check cut back on because some dingbat social worker would sit at the end of the block with binoculars, and if there was one or two of the 6 or 7 baby daddies trying to play father, they'd cut the check off.
What's up? Yeah, how y'all doing? This is Mr. Royce J of Royce Media coming at you guys with another live stream. Excuse me. We're airing on YouTube, Rumble, and Facebook. How y'all doing tonight? Yeah, it's Thursday. Friday is almost here. Yeah. Now y'all can't wait till the end of the workday tomorrow. Yes, sir. I understand. I understand. How y'all feeling tonight? Hope y'all doing good, man. I'm doing good. Got some stuff I've been working on, so I haven't been able to jump on here as much as I would like to, but I got to get things taken care of, so it is what it is. Want to do this, want to allow people time to get into the chats on the respective platforms, and then we're going to go into our babble. Yeah. Let me see what y'all got going on. Yeah, it's looking pretty quiet around here, man. Y'all at, man? I know y'all ain't in bed already. Know y'all trying to whisper sweet nothings into some chick's ear. Know that's what y'all do. being naughty. I know what y'all be out there doing, man. So there's a lot going on in the news. We're going to talk about a little bit of it. We'll probably look at some videos from YouTube and from X, and we'll talk about what we see. Yeah. So our boy Eric Adams, he said that there were paid agitators inciting the riots at Columbia University and around New York City. Surprise, surprise. I've been saying that for years. I've been saying that for years on Facebook. I've been saying that for years on YouTube. Now he wants to catch up. Now people want to start acknowledging that these protests aren't organic, they're organized protests. These people are professionals that do this stuff. And it, and I told y'all we especially was going to see it. So the closer it gets to the 2024 presidential election, we was going to start seeing more of this. Because this is how the cycle goes. They're looking for their next big flag, the next big issue to plant their flags on to rally the voting base. It's all politics. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Yeah. So we might take a look at that video today. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. So soft guy era is rolling right along, getting stronger and stronger day by day. And the ladies are not liking it. We talked about it before on this channel. And it's funny because it's mostly a troll, but there are some points about it, some legitimate points that have to be taken into consideration. And I think those points are starting to be discussed on the various social media platforms. You know, some guys love it, some guys are indifferent, some guys they hate it, but at the end of the day, it's really about the state of affairs in dating and marriage in the US, you know? And I think it'll be another vehicle to push different conversations forward, you know, about how men and women deal with each other in relationships, about expectations and boundaries and duties and different things like that. So I think it'll push the conversation forward, you know. Yeah. So see what y'all doing over here on Rumble, man. Let's see what's going on over here on Rumble. Well, don't look like we have a whole lot going on. Oh well, you know, we shall push forward. You know, one day this platform will be where I need it to be, and it'll be with the help of you all. So, yeah, man. So, anyway, do me a favor as y'all come in to the chats, give me a thumbs up or something like that. Make sure y'all hit that like button and hit the dislike button. Either one, you know, who am I to tell you what to do? I prefer the likes, but if you don't like it, hey, it is what it is. But hit one of those buttons for me, you know. Uh, do me a favor, also announce yourself as you come into the chats so I can have an idea of who's watching and where you guys are watching from. You know, and if you're feeling real generous at the first of the month, do me a favor and drop something in the Cash App. I appreciate all donations to the cause. And the cause is me making a better platform. That's the cause. So y'all want to see me make a better platform? Y'all want to see me work harder? Donate. I appreciate that. Yeah. So Man, I think I got a bobcat behind my house. And behind my house, I got like a heavily wooded area, like it's about an acre's worth of lot behind my house, and man, it's full of trees and all kinds of stuff. I know there's been like wild hogs back there before. I think a bobcat might be back there, man. I don't especially want to see it, but I think there's a bobcat behind it because my dogs, they'd be afraid some days to go back there or go in that area. And I think the only thing that would really scare them is bobcat because they're not afraid of deer. They think deers are big dogs. So, you know, they don't really they don't really have that fear of deers. But a bobcat, that's a whole different level animal that I don't think my dogs want to deal with. And I don't want dealing with my dogs. I got little bitty dogs. I got foo dogs. Yeah, you know. I got all the firepower. I don't need big dogs really scaring people. My son got a big dog though. And that dog is Courage the Cowardly Dog. Straight up and down. That dog is afraid of its own shadow. Straight up. Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah, my boy Minister Jap. He's got something going on about the soft guy era. Depending on how long I'm on this live stream, I may touch in and see what he's talking about because it ain't popping over here. And, I guess that's my fault. you know. So yeah. Yeah. So I might tap in and see what he's talking about, man. But yeah, man. So, we talked about Amanda Seals last week. She went around capping like she's autistic. I mean, to be fair, I don't know if she's autistic or not. You know, her use of it as a disclaimer for antisocial behavior is it doesn't excuse why she's the way she is. This is a woman that's had actually a lot of opportunities. I just recently found out she was on Nickelodeon. I remember her being in Floetry for a little while, you know. Um, she was on MTV. She's had a lot of opportunities, man, and she has been her own worst enemy. She was on what was that show by that girl Issa Rae, man? I can't even think of the name of that show right now, but she was on there, and basically, she is a difficult person, and you know, there are people that have social quirks. I get it. And then some people are just cranks, man. Some people are just straight up cranks. She's an asshole. She is. She's an asshole. Every time you see different stories about her, and ultimately it's her blowing up some kind of relationship interaction, and how she did Shannon Sharp for basically um challenging her just a little bit on the interview. Not a lot, because Shannon is really not that type of guy with his guests, and I didn't see him do anything to really put a lot of pressure on her. But she snaked him after the interview, and she hiding behind, oh, I'm autistic. No, 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 you're not autistic. You're just a jerk. You know, she's dated. You know, she dated Common. Now, I'm from Chicago. I have a loose acquaintance with Common. I've actually, I had a rap group back in the days, and we did shows with Common. I got a funny story about one of them shows. you know, conscious Common. He fashioned himself as pretty much conscious dude. You know, But Common to fight. Common will fight. You know, he no punk, not at all. Shout out to the Riviera nightclub in Chicago. And I seen Common. You know, I seen him stand on business. That was a wild night, man. Good times, man. But other than that, he's a nice guy, man. And she blew that up. And the bad thing about it, the thing about it, I've seen unattractive women who were made, and you kind of say, okay, all right, she things didn't go away, so she's it's a bitter woman. You kind of see it in cases like that. It's like you may not agree with it, but you can see it. But her, she is not a bad looking woman, but she's got a bad disposition. And the thing about it is, you have a lot of women out there like that, man. It's just they just they're on 10, on the mean scale every time you see them, like just snarky. And you know, the thing about it is, if they were guys and they were like that, you know, they get into a few fights. Things tend to get physical with guys like that, and people tend to. Nobody has a problem saying it. Fred over there. Fred's a jerk. You know, you know. I used to have a boss, man. He was like that. He was just always, you know, just confrontational, always looking to do something, you know, always looking to fuck with people, man. And, you know, it's he made everybody miserable. Eventually he ended up actually getting himself fired because of how he treated people. There was a lot of complaints about him. Eventually, you know, the people got tired of him and they got rid of him. I say good riddance, you know, good riddance to a person like that because they affect morale in the workplace, especially when they're in charge of when they're in charge of people. That's piss poor leadership. And that's a term we would use in the army. I actually had a platoon sergeant, man. He was like that. He was just always on 10. You know, I did a lot of work managing his interactions with other people, man, because he would always hit the roof, man. And thing about, but with guys like that, it's it's easier to intervene and it's easier to ultimately deal with them in the workplace than it is women. It's hard to get women like that fired. They have to really mess up. In the meantime, they leave a path of destruction everywhere they go. You know, everything's a conflict, like as I mentioned before. You know, and it's hard to get rid of. It takes a long time. They have to really mess up, like really do something. You know, over the top. You know, and this kind of thing I see out of Amanda Seals. And you know, like I said before, she's a decent looking woman. She's attractive and she's smart. She's got talent and stuff. There is no reason for Amanda Seals to be as big an asshole as she is. But it's Amanda Seals, and she's one of those kind of people, you know, she does stuff because she's her, you know. And man, you know, people get tired, man. People get tired. You know, I know it's not even just dating with a person like that. It's dealing with them in mundane, regular everyday stuff. They make things harder than they need to be. She's the type of person that, if y'all sitting together in a class, she wants to overtalk the teacher and tell the or tell the instructor that they're wrong and stuff like that, man. She's tripped out. Jimmy Bartolome. Bartolome. How you doing tonight, man? What's up? Man, can y'all hear me now? Yeah, OBS is tripping, man. My OBS keeps crashing. It, yeah, yeah, Mike Reed, my OBS is it keeps crashing, man. Like the past 2 weeks, man, it's been acting real funky, man. I'm not sure what's going on. You know, I got enough memory on my computer and everything, um, and stuff. I, there's some issues with OBS. I might have to switch to StreamYard or something. You know, I want to have panels anyway, so I want to start doing some panels anyway, man. So I like OBS, but OBS always has problems. No video feed. Hold on. There we go. Yeah, man. OBS been tripping, man. I don't know what's going on with it, but yeah, it's been crashing like crazy, man. A few days. That's why I didn't do some live streams because I couldn't get OBS working. A couple times, YouTube was tripping, man. I I, I don't know, man. I don't know. I think I'm gonna have to start doing more, uh, doing more uploads, man. Let's start back up to the uploads because this stuff has been tripping, man. You know. So, hey, man. Hey, Mike Reed, what you been up to, bro? I don't know. Can you hear me? You usually working hard. Yeah, hey, man. Get out, get that money, bro. Get that money. You know. Yeah, I done told y'all about Mike Reed before. Mike Reed does commercial appliance repair. He deals with the big dogs. You know, them big fridges you see like in supermarkets and restaurant equipment and stuff. You know, he keeps it going. Shout out to Mike Reed, man. You know, that is that's one of the businesses, man, that, you can do well for yourself, man, if you know what you're doing, you know, and you can be your own boss. For you guys that are you looking to be entrepreneurs, looking to get into a business with a low overhead, you might want to look into appliance repair, man. You know, especially commercial appliance. It really, you can do commercial or you can do household appliances, you find your lane and you know, learn it and you go out there and start your own sole proprietorship, you know. I picked up a lot of it having rental properties, learning how to repair appliances, you know, because man, them appliance guys come out and man, they charge you a pretty penny, man, to replace something, as simple as a capacitor. you know, it's not, something that ain't terribly hard, but man, they get some good money between the parts and labor, man. Like I said, it's a low overhead business. Tax you. That's right. That's right, man. Yeah. Yeah, man. So if you guys are looking to get into, you're like tinkering with stuff. You see yourself good with your hands and stuff. That's a good business to get into, and actually, if you are into like HVAC or something like that, that's another side business you can get into right along with that because you're dealing with, the refrigerants and stuff, you know, that's man, you can interweave the both of them. If you start yourself a little company, get you, 3 or 4 employees, man, next thing you know, making a decent amount of money. Be a high value man. Yeah, man. Yeah, you don't need to go to college for it. But some of y'all want them jobs where you got to wear suits, where you get to wear suits and ties and you get to smell good and stuff. And there's nothing wrong with that, if that's what you want to do, then hey, be down, player. Hey, who am I to get in your way of your happiness or your misery? I'm just putting it out there. It's appliance repair is not a it's a decent business to get into. And especially you get in on that commercial side, like Mike Reed, he gives out a lot of great information on how to get the training from the different companies on their appliances and you know um how to go get your contracts and stuff, man. So that's something you might want to look into. If you aren't subscribed to his channel, go check out his channel. you know Check out his channel, jump in one of his chats, ask him some questions, man. you know um in fact, on another note, actually one of the businesses I'm working on right now is a low overhead business. It's an issue of getting your certs, and then getting insured and stuff. I think that's the biggest thing for me is getting the insurance. you know um but that's private investigations, man. I'm going to be doing that. So if you want to find out who your girl Big Shirley been calling at 2 in the morning, you might want to give me a call. You might want to give me a call. you know so yeah, man. But there are a lot of businesses you guys can get into that there's a lot of businesses you guys can get into where you know you either may have the skills already needed, or it's something that it's not going to cost you a whole lot of money to get into. Mike Reese says insurance shouldn't be that bad. Well, you know what? Actually, it's not. It's getting bonded. For what I'm doing is getting bonded. That's where it gets expensive. Yeah, you know, that's where, for $1 million, um, to get bonded for $1 million, you got to come out, you got to come off 10 grand, you know, so that's where it can get expensive. And then, some of the applications that you have to use, um, they get expensive, man. Some of the portals to find information and stuff. It's like the subscriptions are like, $600 to $800 a year. You know, it'll do what you need to do, but man, you gotta be making money to pay that. Keep up with those costs. But you know, you got stuff like that. I know some of you guys are trying to get into IT. Which IT is big on the certs. And the certs, some of the courses, the certs aren't too bad expense wise, and some of them are expensive, man. I've seen it. uh, uh certification test that it's like $1,000. You know, so yeah, but ultimately it takes money to make money. So that's something you gotta consider. Another cheap business you guys can get into is power washing. Power washing. You get you a good power washer. You're gonna pay about $500-$600, and but you know you can turn that into a few grand. A year. Power washing. Pool cleaning. Different stuff like that. There's another low overhead business. There's a lot of different businesses you guys can get into, to where you can be your own boss, or you can be the boss and have employees and stuff if you scale right and stuff. And you may not be a millionaire, but you can live comfort. You can live in relative comfort, providing services to people. So power wash parking lots for restaurants and movie theaters. Hey, yeah, yeah. A big one back in the day was auto detailing. You know, where I live, everybody got boats and stuff like that. You can get into detailing boats and different things. Power wash hotel lots, and yeah, on and on. Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah, that power washing, man, you do something with it. But a lot of these businesses, yeah, you're gonna have to get your hands dirty. But a lot of you guys don't like college anyway, so you ain't trying to be, ain't trying to be a PhD or nothing. So hey, you can still get some money. And then if you've had some issues in your past, a lot of these businesses you can start, be your own boss, and not having to worry about background checks and different stuff like that. So yeah, for like I said, for myself, I did investigations, man, for you know, over 20 years. And so it's a natural progression for me to be a private investigator. I already know how to do investigations, so might as well do that, you know. But that's one of the big things I've been working on. So, trying to get that stuff set up and ready to go. So, um, and that will actually it will affect my content because I'll be talking about more about some of the different investigation scenarios that I've been in, and you know, just different stuff like that, man. You know. So anyway, so yeah, man, yeah, yeah. So what else are we gonna talk about, man? Let's talk about Putin for a minute. Putin has been consolidating even more power in Russia. Royce PI. Yeah, that's right. You're the Magnum PI. Well, now there's Royce PI. Yes, sir. Yeah. So, get back to my geopolitics. Putin has been consolidating more power in Russia. He's at the point now where he's picking the governors of the different Russian states and stuff. And he's really drilling down with his power. One of the questions I have is that what happens if Putin drops dead in the middle of the night? He's an older guy. It could conceivably happen. I'm wondering what kind of power vacuum that would leave. You know, um, because how he does things, there clearly isn't a division of power. There's not really checks and balances on what he can do because he controls everything. Is in Russia, and anytime he gets a little pushback. People come up mysteriously delete it. Thing about it is he can't live forever. It would be interesting to who what would happen if he passed and who would be the next to assume power. We see what happened with that Wagner group guy. The plane mysteriously blew up. Yeah, Mike Reed, he does. He runs everything over there in Russia. Getting back to that Wagner group, that's the guy he used really. That Wagner group was instrumental in the invasion of the Ukraine. He started to push back, and then you know, he had an airplane accident. You know, I wonder what's going to happen. Who's going to be the next in line? You don't hear anything about it. Radiation poisoning. Yeah, you don't hear about who's the next in line. You don't even hear about a challenger to Putin that um is protected enough to pose a threat. You really don't. That's scary, you know. And with all Russia has going on, it's going to be interesting to see if I live long enough myself to see what happens with that. It's going to be interesting to see that situation because you don't really hear about, um, you know, a second in command. You really don't hear about a challenger, a well protected challenger to Putin's regime, different things like that. So, you know, that's interesting. And really, you don't see a lot of news about the day to day activity in Russia, even from outside media sources, because I look at stuff like Al Jazeera, different things like that, news from other countries, and you don't hear a whole lot of talk about Putin. You just don't. I hear more about Xi Jinping um, in China than I do Putin. So it's gonna be real interesting, you know. So yeah, man. Yeah. So yeah. Mike Reed says he was once second in command, so he is cautious of that position. Yes, sir. Yeah. Yeah. Facts. That is a fact. You really, you used to hear about Putin back in the days before Putin became the big dog. Um, but you don't hear about a second in command to Putin. You really don't. But enough about that. Let's get back on some Negro nonsense. So apparently, according to Rick Ross and what's that little bitty guy um, with the perm ponytails from Kendrick Lamar. If you are a light skinned black person, you cannot say nibbas. You cannot say nibba. You know that's interesting. You know, to me, it kind of speaks to the duplicity and the schizophrenia of Black Americans. Uh, one minute they run around calling everybody black that don't share the culture, like white guys that can dance and play the saxophone, Dominicans, Puerto Ricans, and stuff like that. They'll tell them black, but then you're light skinned black person. They want to question your blackness. Mike said, "What?" Yeah. So it's like I have to ask the question: which is it, Black Americans? Which is it? Which way y'all gonna be? Either, uh, you know, that whole black card. I don't even want it because you know they give it to people who really don't deserve it or care to have a black card. And then they take it away from black people who say stuff they don't like. Dudley and Erica Nance, what's up? How you feeling, bro? Glad you could join us. Welcome to the stream. Dudley and Erica Nance. Yeah, man. I used to work with somebody with that last name, Nance. Real cool people, man. Real cool people. You know, I don't know if you were related to him or not, but that's a real cool dude, man. He's one of them. He was one of them dudes that he didn't talk too loud and then you say, "What's up, Nance? What's up?" He was the head nod guy. What's up? Yeah, man. But this whole light skin, dark skin war. But among black Americans and NBA versus Adolf versus Tethers versus Africans. It's comical at best. It's unproductive at worst. It's meaningless in the bigger picture things because it's ultimately it's fickle. It's a discussion based in emotions, you know. And it's like when you hear people that are invested in it, it's like, don't you got something better to do with your time? If you ain't got no money, all of that talk don't matter. It really don't. Speaking of light skin, dark skin, you guys, our vice president was talking about redlining, and housing discrimination and stuff like that. And it's like, what does that have to do with money? If you broke, it sucked wherever you live. You got no money. I don't care about redlining like I do the economy. What's up with these jobs? What's up with this economy? What's up with these mortgage rates? You talking about redlining? The mortgage rate is over 7%. I don't care about redlining like I do my mortgage rate. I don't think most people care about, redlining like they do the mortgage rate. People can't buy houses. Young people nowadays, man, that's just getting out of college and stuff, are really not even just getting out of college. You got people in their 30s, man, they can't afford to buy a house because the mortgage rates are too high. You got young couples can't get a piece of the American dream because the mortgage rates are too high. You know, Mike Reed says division creates opportunities. Hey, shout out to Littlefinger. You remember what he said? Littlefinger from Game of Thrones. Chaos is a ladder. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, man. Getting back to Kamala Harris, man. It's about the economy. What you gonna do about this border situation? What you all are gonna do about this immigrant wave? Um, Black Americans are not as worried about redlining as they are competing with jobs with people who are not even U.S. citizens. They got to compete for jobs. Most Black Americans don't only speak English. They're competing with people, man, that come in and that speak more than one language. They got to compete with these people for jobs and people that are getting help. You know, y'all know Latinos fall under DEI, Indians, all of them. Um, you, she's not speaking to the fact that they made a situation that's a real situation, present day situation, that's already hard for Black Americans, even harder because now they already got to compete with the native population for jobs and resources and funding and stuff. And now they got to compete with a group that don't really have any skin in the game in this country, because you have an idea that in a few years they'll be able to vote for you. And so you're going to buy their vote, and you got people that's been voting for you loyally. You ain't taking care of them. That's crazy. No News. What's up, No News Podcast? Welcome to the stream, bro. No News says at the same time, black folks aren't speaking out against cheap labor crossing the border. You know, they're starting to. They're starting to, because it's being thrown up in their face. It's getting to the point to where they can't ignore it, and now, money talks. And when they start seeing money going to people that aren't even U.S. citizens, black Americans feel some kind of way, especially since black Americans have been talking about reparations. Y'all know how I feel about reparations, being half, ADOS FBA, and being half, tether baby from the Caribbean and Central America. I'm like, hey, if black Americans get it, great. If they don't get it, don't be surprised, and don't count on getting it overall, you know. But, you got the debate going with black Americans, pushing for reparations, and now you giving money to people that ain't even citizens. That make black Americans feel some kind of way. And the vice president isn't addressing it one way or the other. You got people going, hey, what's up? Where our money? And that's a fair question that black Americans have. You tell them, oh, we don't have money for you to give you all reparations, but you got money to, pay for illegal immigrants for a year and a half, 2 years, and they're coming across the border in droves. That's crazy. No News Podcast says black folks support a party that has continually fucked us over. Facts. But No News says, as a black man, I tried to warn our folks, but I got ostracized for it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you did that a few years ago. Now, hey, people are probably going, I think No News had a point. Man, maybe No News was right. I know I was talking about it. I was talking about it back in 2020. And I've had people call me. I ain't lived in Illinois for a few years now. And I got people calling me, all the time, going, man, that stuff sounded crazy when you were saying it back in the day, but now I see you had a point. I'm pretty sure the same thing's happening to you, No News. They're paying for votes, basically. Facts. Yeah. I've been telling people about this coming with this crime bill that they're going to come up with, because they're going to come up with a new one. There's going to be a social credit system, especially if they do UBI, which they're going to do some form of it because the economy is so jacked up. There's going to be some form of UBI. It's going to have a social credit component to it. So all of the, you be on the internet talking crazy like I do, they might cut your money. Them people might cut your money. They might tax you. Oh, you said that the president be pooping in his pants. Yeah, we gonna tax you $700 for that. I see it coming. When they come out with a new crime bill, man, when they come out with a new crime bill, it's gonna impact way more people than the previous crime bills. Watch and see. Because what they're trying to do is socially engineer people to think a certain way. And they're going to use money to do it. They're going to use taxing people to do it. You just watch and see. No, Mike Reed says to have undocumented police is nuts. Yeah, they did that with the Safety Act in Illinois, man. That's crazy. You got, first of all, Illinois is hemorrhaging police officers, and that's because They have terrible policies, very anti-police. They went from defunding the police to hiring, you know, people that ain't even from here and that they don't have any real documentation on. They want to make them the police now. And these people come from countries where the police, y'all think the police are bad, but Black Americans think the police are bad in that we have currently. Wait until they get this new crop of no speaking English police, you know. Ooh, and you know, a lot of those undocumented people from Russia. I told y'all what the deal was with Russian. I mean, not Russians from the Ukraine. Sorry about that. I told y'all what the deal was with the Ukraine. What that Ukraine situation is, you know, you got basically you got the sickles versus the swastikas and over there, and a lot of them people from Ukraine coming into the US, they've got some leanings with the, you know, that favor the guy with the little mustache. You about to make them the police? You gonna make people like that the police? You might want to rethink it. No News says a lot of us free thinking Black men have lost a lot of friends and family over these social and political issues. Yes, sir. You know, it has cost some people jobs, you know, jobs and opportunities, you know. No News says funny thing is that the fastest way to citizenship is through our military. Facts. I can't remember, but I think it's between 3 to 6 years of service and they get it. People don't know that fact. Mike Reed says, "Yep." When I deployed back um, in 2003, I deployed with a few soldiers who were trying to get their citizenship, and basically because they deployed in a war, some kind of way they were kind of put to the front of the line to where they were able to get their citizenship faster. And so you definitely have a point there, Mike. No News. And I think it is a great way, you know, you show allegiance to the US through military service, you know, that is one of the benefits. There's nothing official that says it, but at the same time, you know, I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen where you had people that were trying to get their citizenship to the US. They went to the military, and within 2 to 3 years, they were able to get their citizenship, you know, because of service. So, yeah. Uh-oh. I had to plug up. I'm about to lose power, man. I'm sitting here running my. Man, I can't win for losing tonight. Man, I'm all jacked up. There we go. Mike Reed says the Romans did it. Yeah, sure did. When you look at the history of the Roman Empire, that's um what happened with a lot of the Roman uh the Roman troops that they got their citizenship through military service, you know, and they got some other benefits too. And I think it's a great idea. Personally, I also think for people that commit for young men that commit nonviolent crimes, and even young women, because y'all know I believe women should have to sign up for select service in the draft. But for young people who get in trouble with the law, and maybe it's their first crime, and it's not a violent crime, we should have something. Which they used to do this in some states. They would tell them, "Hey, you either do this time in jail, you do 4 years in jail, or you do 4 years military service. And if you understand the benefits of military service, the benefits you get, I would take the military service every time because you get a lot of benefits. I would take it every time, and plus you get to duck that strike on your record. That's a win-win. And especially now with what's happening with recruitment in the military, it's so what's happening now with recruitment in the military, that might be a great recruitment tool for people that are on the fence. Um, Man, I forgot what I was about to say. No News says I went to basic with a few dudes who came from states that did that. Yeah, I was when I went to basic for the army. We had guys from Florida that we had some cats that they that pretty much was offered to them in Florida. I remember specifically there was a few cats from like Gainesville that you know, they were given that option. I would, if it was me, I would take it every time, because some people do turn their lives around. And if you understand what some of the benefits of military service are, um, you can really jumpstart yourself into the middle class, if you do it right, you know, your schooling is paid for, your education is paid for. You get the VA loan for housing, different things like that. While you're in the military, you get health insurance and stuff. You got a family, you can insure your family, different things like that. You can learn vocational skills. I didn't know the military had electricians, um, but they got a whole construction MOS, allied trades in the army, where I ran into guys that was going in to be plumbers and electricians and stuff like that. You know, And you get the GI Bill. Yeah, Mike Reed. Speaking of which, on active duty, you you can go to college and get your college degree, or you can go to these courses and get certifications and stuff, and not even have to use your GI Bill. You can save your GI Bill until after you get out. And the way they have it now, um, you can actually give your GI Bill to your spouse and your kids, you know, and you can still get the degree. No News said, after I retired to 22 years in the Army, I joined electrical apprenticeship and I apply my VA benefits to that apprenticeship. Shout out to you. Thank you for your service. No News. And yeah, I feel you. I did 20 myself. I retired with 20 and, you know, um, paid for a lot of my school off the tuition assistance, you know. And actually gave my son most of my GI Bill, because I did between tuition assistant and the student loan repayment, you know, I was good. So yeah, man. So yeah, and that's I don't think a lot of young people, especially a lot of young black guys, they really don't see the benefits for a little bit of discomfort. You hear a lot of them, well, I can never have, oh man, another man telling me what to do, and somebody telling me when to wake up and when to go to sleep and stuff. Guess what? You go to prison, that's gonna happen. And guess what? If you get a job, your boss gonna tell you what to do. Mike Reed says, nice. Thank both of you for your service. I appreciate that, Mike Reed. I appreciate that. Yeah, man. But it's- ultimately, you're going to, in the real world, you're going to submit to something to some degree. You might as well submit to something where you can get a maximum benefit for a short amount of work. And like I tell people all the time, you really don't need to do like No News did 22 years. I did 20. Looking back at it, um, I should probably only did 6 And I tell young black guys all the time, hey, listen, all you need is really 4 to 6 years. If you do 6, you're gonna get all the benefits you can. And if you get the right mentorship, you get the right person in your ear, they'll tell you how to maximize all your benefits, you know. And so, yeah, man, those certification classes that I was talking about with for appliance repair with Mike Reed, there are some places where if you take those courses, the VA will actually pay for some of those courses. If they're set up right, the VA will pay for appliance repair technician courses, you know? So yeah, man. There's a lot of benefits, and guess what? These illegal immigrants, they're gonna jump on a lot of them benefits. They're gonna take advantage of it, especially now. Okay, here's what I forgot I was saying. Okay, like I was saying before, I did 20 years. No News did 20 years. We both Army vets. Um, they have a recruitment drive right now for people like No News and myself, where even though we retired, they're asking retirees to come back in. Recruitment is so bad, they want the guys that retired to come back in. If I wasn't so busted up, I would definitely think about it, man. You know, I ain't gonna lie, I would think about it, man. But recruiting is hurting, man. The state of the military sucks. I think the only people that aren't really having a problem with recruitment is the Marine Corps. Well, of course, I don't think the Air Force is having a problem. Everybody wants their kids to go to Air Force. Whenever, especially black people, they kill me with this shit. They tell the kids, "Hey, you gonna go with you go to Air Force," and I'd be like, "Look, the dumbass Johnny too stupid to go to the Air Force. You know, little Johnny probably can't get into the Navy because quiet as kept, the Navy and the Air Force they go back and forth with the highest." Uh, um, ASVAB scores and intelligence, as far as their membership. Um, and now what they did with the Army, they got some things in play to where um, the training, the leadership, the leadership schools and stuff you go to, now you can actually get college credits. And if you make it to the rank of sergeant major, you go to Sergeant Major Academy, when you finish, and if you give them another 5 years, you actually get a master's degree in leadership. They was doing that right when I got out, right when they opened up the warrant program for my MOS, right when I was getting out. It was like, yeah, hey, we got the swarm program right for you, Big Sarge. And I was like, I'm getting out. No. I wish y'all had did that 10 years ago. I would have been the first in line. No News says, I tell brothers to do at least 4 years and join apprenticeship. Welding, plumbing, pipe fitting, carpenter. They will apply the new GI Bill, which pays you, uh, I can't see that. Hold on, let me get rid of this. Which pays you BAH while you learn trade. Yes, yes. Major companies hire ex-military. True and true. Yeah, that's another thing. You know, a lot of young cats don't realize that, man. You know, you can you get paid to go to school through the GI Bill. Um, you know, No News says I was getting an hourly pay in BH for Seattle, which was $2,800 a month extra. Yeah, yeah. That's for an apprenticeship program. You can't. That's hard to beat, man. They not giving money like out. They ain't giving money out like that for college. You know, That's why they crying about student loan debt and student loan forgiveness and stuff now. Because guess what? That's money, all that money these kids be borrowing and stuff, they got to pay that back. They ain't giving them scholarships. Most of them scholarships don't be that much. It'd be $500 here, $1,500 there, $300 here. A lot of people ain't getting that. Most people ain't smart enough to get them real, them real deal scholarships. Most people ain't got it like that. That's why they up here crying about student loan forgiveness. 6 years military, got to worry about that. Plus, you can go to school while you in. You know, but them immigrants coming in the country, a lot of them gonna take advantage of it. Watch. I don't blame them. And then, if you're a smarty arty, I went to a recruitment event one time when I was in, and they were looking for doctors. They were looking for soldiers who wanted to become nurses and doctors. They had a program uh that didn't touch your GI Bill. That if you went to school as a nurse, they were looking for male nurses. If you went to school for a nurse, you got tuition assistance and they paid your stipend. And if you were a doctor, if you came in, you were a doctor. They gave you 80,000 in student loan repayment. You came in as a lieutenant colonel, which that's easy street. And you only deployed for 3 months a year. So it didn't negatively impact your practice. You know how mad I got when I saw that? I was like, man, I hate that I'm stupid. Man, this was back like 2011, I want to say, somewhere around there, like 2011, between 2011 and 2014. When I saw that, I was like, man, that's crazy. Most doctors, their student loans are between 80 to 200,000. If you got student loans, if you are a internal medicine doctor, you're averaging around 80,000 in student loans. You sign up, you go in as an officer, you do 6 years as an officer. Your student loans are gone. And then plus, as a lieutenant colonel, you're making like 10 grand a month. That's not counting BAH and stuff. That's not counting that and whatever other entitlements you have. You can't beat it. You can't beat it. No news says if they join the military, there's a college loan repayment plan. They're too lazy. I used it. I used it. On my first enlistment, I used it. You know, and I tell you this, for critical MOSs, that's like transportation, that's like infantry, stuff like that. The bonuses are gonna be ridiculous. I mean, for guys, I know guys who was getting $70,000 in bonuses at one time for military intelligence. Plus, if you speak, read, and write another language, you can pass the testing. That's another, for the first language is $450 a month. And every language after that is like 350. If I remember correctly. I might be slightly off on the amount for the second, for the languages after the second language you speak. But you know, that's good money, and a lot of these immigrants that's coming over, they speak more than one language. They speak more than two languages. Especially if you talking about people from Asia, and you're talking about these Africans, they might speak five languages. They're gonna get paid for three of them outside of English. They, if they're smart, they're gonna game the system. No News said I couldn't pass that test to save my life. Yeah. The thing about it, reason I didn't take it, because I speak five languages. The, the thing about it, I didn't take it because the caveat is once they have you down speaking those languages, other than Spanish, once they have you down speaking those languages, you incur a soft, indefinite obligation to the military. So anytime they need an interpreter, a translator, or something, they can pull you up. So that's the one drawback. But you know, if you're a Turk, a lot of times you're not in the field like that. You are in cantonment. You're on a fob, relative protection. So, but I didn't want to be 67 and they call me up and say, hey, we need you to go on this deployment to Jordan. No News said, too bad Ebonics doesn't qualify. Hey, I seen a woman, she was a colonel, and she had to be about 67. And she was on deployment back in 2003 in hot ass Kuwait at Camp Doha. And she was miserable. We used to call her Sojourner Truth because she had that Sojourner Truth look. Because look, back in the day, if you were a black female and you were on deployment, if you hair hair care and stuff like that was tough. And so, she was out there looking like Sojourner Truth, man. And she'd be walking slow every day. That woman looked miserable. But, you know, Lieutenant Colonel, she had that cluster. Hey, hey man, that woman looked like she was mad every day. Every day we saluted her, she looked like she wanted to say, fuck y'all. Fuck this, fuck y'all, fuck that. That woman stayed looking angry, man. It was hilarious every time we saw her. But she was a psychiatrist, and that was the thing. The military had paid for her schooling and stuff. She was a psychiatrist, and she had been out for a few years. They, the 9/11 kicked off, and Operation Iraqi Freedom kicked off, and they said, guess what? You coming with us. And she had to go. And they wouldn't let her resign her commission. She had to go. And that's when they did that stop loss. A lot of people that was supposed to get out, you didn't have a 20-year letter, you was going. I had a buddy who was his 20-year letter he hadn't gotten it yet. He was waiting on getting it, and they hit him with the stop loss. Man, that dude cried every day. He cried every day. He cried himself to sleep almost every day. No joke. He was 54 years old, man, trying to climb in and out of 5 tons. And if you know how high up a 5 ton is, that first step, it helps to be young. And it helps to have, decent knees. It helps to have young knees. He didn't have young knees. Not at all. You know, he cried it seemed like he cried almost every day, man. Cried himself sleep. He was so mad. They ended up paying him a lot of money, um, you know, later in the deployment because he got stop loss and they weren't supposed to stop loss him. So he got a little bit of money from it, but he was miserable, man. And that's how I found out what the situation was with that colonel, with that lieutenant. She was a colonel. That's how I found out the situation with her, because he told me. He said, hey man, look, she's man, they got her too, man. She ain't supposed to be over here. Look at her, man. That's why she be mad all the time. Man, I fell out. I fell out. you know. Then, man, you know, on the other side, we had cats that they loved being on deployment because they was making money. We had cats, man. We had a cat that stayed over there for like 3 years. he, he was getting that money. He stayed over there for 3 years, man. That was the most money he had ever. He wasn't doing. He wasn't getting any money back home, so he was making plenty of money over there, man. He was stacking his bread. He stayed over. He extended over there. Uh, 3 years. He was over in country 3 years. No News says that Humvee rollover drill hurts his soul. Man, hey, hey, man. Me and this dude was on this road called what was that road? Iron Horse, man. And if you know anything about Iron Horse was a road that was bombed out, man. It was craters everywhere in this road, big ass potholes, everything. Cause um, man, the U.S. got some weapons that, man, they tore this road up, and we was riding on that road, man, hitting the bumps and hitting. He was hitting the knees on them on them little bitty cramped up. Them vehicles be all cramped up, man. He was banging them knees, man. Hey, that dude he was miserable, man. He was miserable. Yeah, yeah, man. Yeah. And this was before they got the up armors. This is before, this is pre up armor. So he would have been real hurting them up armors. Yeah, man. But yeah, man. I mean, military service, you're gonna have trade-offs. It is what it is. A lot of them cats coming from second and third world countries. Um, the military is gonna be a come up for them, and it would be stupid for them to pass it over, especially with what's coming. Them guys, man, can make a career of it and be straight. They'll be straight, and their families will be straight. For what it's worth, especially comparing to what they came from. And this is the thing I tell young black men all the time. Why should they get those benefits over you? You give these people 6 years and you talk to somebody like me, you talk to somebody like No News. We'll tell you how to work the system. We'll tell you how to do the things you need to do so you can be straight after that 6 years, where you could take a whole lot of worry off yourself by the time you get out. Pause. But yeah, man, a lot of a lot of them people coming over, a lot of them military age men, they're gonna be doing it. It is what it is. I know a lot of I remember when I went in, a lot of the cats that from countries like Iran and stuff, that guys that can speak Arabic, guys that can speak Farsi and stuff, if they could get a security clearance, man, they got snatched up by MI. You know, put it this way: you get a job in MI. If you have a MI, a military intelligence MOS, it's a good chance you can leave the military making 80 grand out the door. Straight up. I've seen it. I ain't talking outside of my neck. I saw it myself. I've seen guys do it. You know, I mean, even, you know, um, some of the MOSs that kind of get clowned, like transportation and stuff get clowned, but you learn how to drive. You learn how to drive uh semi trucks and stuff like that. You learn railhead. You learn how to work on the docks and stuff like that. That that's big money in places like Texas and Florida, places like California, any place with a port. A lot of these places, man, you can come out of the military with a CDL. All you got to do is take the written test where you live. You submit your training certificate. You get a CDL. These cats, man, they don't want to work the system. There's a lot of ways to get to the bag if you're a young person. And you don't have anything else going. You don't want to be paying a whole lot of student loans, or you don't have the wherewithal. The college ain't for you. I'm not going to say you don't have the wherewithal, but you type person, college ain't for you. Rather than working in a burger joint or something, go to the military for 6 years. It go by like that. Before you know it, you out. And while you're in, take advantage of all of the benefits that you can get while you're in, and keep all your medical records. Keep all your medical records. Go to the doctor for everything. Thank me later. Trust me. Go to the doctor for everything while you're in. Trust me. Keep a copy of all your medical records. It's important. You know who put me up on game? An old white dude from the VFW. He said, hey, listen, get a copy of all your medical records and keep them. So if you don't keep nothing else, keep all your medical records. You're going to need them when you get out. Thank me later. If I met that guy today, I'd buy him a 22-ounce steak. If I saw him right now, I'd buy him a 22-ounce steak. He deserved it. He was bright. Yeah, so yeah, but you're gonna see them take advantage of a lot of that stuff. Um, Speaking of the illegal immigrants, um, you're going to see the rise of the Mexican vote, and that Mexican vote is going to go Republican. Trust me on that. They don't like what's going on. They don't like the competition either. They don't. In places like Chicago, you're going to see a lot more Hispanic politicians. I don't be surprised that sooner or later, I would say within the next 6 years, Chicago is going to have a Mexican American mayor. I don't know if it's going to be male or female, but they're going to be Mexican American. because you're about to see the rise in that political power. It is what it is. Yeah, man. So I'm about to shut this down in a few. Um, Mike Reed says female. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, and I'm almost willing to bet that because, um, like Jerry Chico and them guys like that, they ain't really hitting on nothing. So I think the face of the Chicago Democratic Party will be a Hispanic female. I think Mike Reed is very right on that. And Mike Reed, you know, he, I think he knows a little bit more about that than I do. But I agree with him. It will be a Hispanic female. It is it's highly likely it's going to be a Hispanic female. I wouldn't be surprised at all. So yeah, and I don't think she's going to be I don't think she's going to be too far to the left. I think she's going to be a centrist. I think you're going to see more of that from now on. This stuff too. The left has went too far. The left has went entirely too far. People are getting tired of the left. The problem with the right in places like Chicago is that they're inactive. And I wish my guy Blexit was here because Blexit can really speak on it. Blexit is more in tune with the politics, with the political scene in Chicago, and he can really speak on that. Um, I might send him some on Messenger, for the next one I do where I go into the politics and stuff. But yeah, man, the right in Chicago are they're very inactive. They're almost sheepish. Um, and the leftists went too far. Most people don't are not far right or far left. Most people are in the middle. You know, most people when you talk to them, they're in the middle. Like a lot of people, a lot of Black Americans are. Well, the older ones are um, socially conservative. Politically, they may be Democrats. Socially, they're conservative. White guys in Chicago vote their paycheck, like the 19th ward, they vote their paycheck, which they vote left. But socially, they are right wingers. Trust me on that. I worked with them for years. I know how they talk. I know how they think. I know how they behave. I know how they get down. They are they're conservative and right wing, but they vote left because they vote their paychecks. Mike Reese says Blexit is cool. Yeah, Blexit a cool brother, man. You're a cool brother. He be getting frustrated because they be getting on his nerves in Chicago. But um did you check out the link I sent? It was about the 4B live stream I recorded. No, man. Um, do me a favor. You got my email, right? I'm gonna put my email in the chat, man, because I be telling y'all to send me show ideas or send me stuff y'all want me to talk about or stuff y'all want me to check out. I be telling y'all to send me an email. Y'all don't be sending me emails, man. So let me I'm gonna put my email in the chat. Yeah. Yeah, no news. Send that to me, man. I want to check it out. Because I didn't see it in my emails, and I don't know if we are Facebook friends. Um, but because I didn't see anything in Messenger, but I'll check it out. But shoot me that email, man, so I can check it out, man. I want to support who supports me. So, yeah. So I'm still putting together that. I'm gonna do some uploads on that stuff I was talking about a few times with the different the kind of the esoteric type stuff and the stuff with the knowledge of modern day demonology and where how a lot of these demons and idols are being represented today and people don't realize it. And as I said before, this is not it's for information's sake. It's not to change to push your mind one way or another as far as your religious preferences and stuff, but it's information so you can know what you're looking at when you see it, because there's a lot of stuff that if you ever like read up stuff on demonology, and you know the different names and identities of the demons in religious mythology, you can see that stuff today, and you can see influences today, and it's stuff that's happening right up under your nose. Again, it's just for information's sake. You know, religiously, you can believe what you want to believe, but you have to, what I'm going to talk about in that video or videos is stuff you need to know. It's not all clappy clap, yay, um, whatever you call God. Your religion shouldn't just be that. Ooh, feel good. The uh, you need to know the legend behind what you believe. You need to, understand uh the modern day representation of certain things. You need to understand the stories. You need to understand where that stuff comes from. And I'll be talking about that because this is stuff that I've learned over the years. Like, about, you know, I talked about the Statue of Liberty. I've talked about that a few times before. So, I'll be speaking on that again. I'll be speaking on some of the other stuff. You know, I think was that no news. It's either no news. It's one of the people that come through. Um, we was talking back and forth in the chats about some of the stuff that's represented. But all of that stuff, man, is very real. Um, these people are out here practicing witchcraft and devil worship and stuff right up under your nose, and you don't see it. A lot of times you don't even pay attention to it. And it's stuff that's otherwise it looks mundane, but there's some other stuff behind it. And if you know better, you do better. So all right, man. I'm gonna shut this live down, man. I appreciate you guys coming through. I will be back tomorrow, possibly at the same time or earlier. It depends. Anyway, this is Mr. Royce of Royce Media. Like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate really. Hold on. Before I shut this down, no news says Shira 7 has a witchcraft channel. Yeah, man. I know she has made statements saying that she is a witch. I've seen certain stuff from her that lets me know she practices voodoo of some type. And so if she does have a channel like that, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised at all. You know, she's not the only one. They've accused Beyonce. Well, it has been alleged that Beyonce practices witchcraft, which I wouldn't be surprised. Um, there are quite a few people I've seen them do and say certain stuff that lets me know, okay, all right. There's some people that are just out in the open with it, like Lil Nas X. He's out in the open with it. But then there's some people they try to disguise it in other stuff. But when you know, you know. Um, I've explained before. I'm part ADOS FBA and part Afro Latino, Afro Caribbean. My mom used to do that stuff when I was a baby. you know, um, Ashira Star Goddess. Okay, yeah, okay. I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to sneak a peek over there. See what this goofette is talking about. But yeah, man, I was saying my mom back when I was very young, she was doing some of that crazy stuff, man. And I do have family members to this day, especially on that Caribbean and Afro Latin side, that that's what they're into, you know, when they ain't being Catholic. When they ain't being Catholic, they practicing Santeria and stuff, man. So yeah, yeah. So your boy knows, you know. I've been a few places and seen a few things and read a few books, and so a lot of stuff I know it when I see it. But hey, I'm gonna get on out of here, man. I appreciate you guys coming through. Looking forward to seeing you guys on my next live, which will be sometime tomorrow. I'll put up some, in advance so you guys can hit your notification buttons. I'm going to get on out of here. Y'all take it easy, man. Peace.